Hey, 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 it's Friday. Welcome to the Music Maker stage. We're glad you're all here. I'm Julie Delgado. This is Manuel Delgado, and this is the whole table of Delgados, Ava and Lila Delgado, doing the live stream. We're live streaming, and we are live. Well, tonight we have a really special guest, and I see people have their phone in their hand, which is totally fine. And while you have it out, go ahead and go to our Instagram, our Facebook, and our YouTube. And like us, follow us, and subscribe to us. And our goal is to be the premier listening room on the East Side. You can help us do that by going on our socials, going on our website, checking out our calendar, telling your friends that, hey, it's a really cool show over here. You got to come. We try to do something special for Nashville, set apart. We have music, plus we have an onstage interview where you get to know the nitty-gritty about the artists, what they're doing, what they're going to be doing, things that you can buy. Speaking of merch, first of all, housekeeping. So do all that, and then later on I will ask you to silence that phone. But we have complimentary tea, cocoa, and cider in the back. Go get yours. Since it's a cold night, right? And if you want something cold, we got some sodas for sale over there. So we have something hot besides Amy and Megan. We got hot tea, right? Boom. Okay. I'll work on my timing. Now, what else? Let's talk about merch. So the artists bring merch and they sell their wares and after their show. So don't forget and don't leave without picking something up from her. Also, I'm working on a Music Maker merch soon. I'm going to get it. But we have Delgado merch as well. We have shirts, hoodies, and hats. And I know Christmas just came and went, but I know you have Christmas money that you need to spend. So spend it here. And we have a really cool hatch print, if I do say so myself. And if you are really into shopping today, we have Girl Scout cookies too. My little one is selling Girl Scout cookies. So much better than a shirt and hoodie, right? Okay. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, so much better than a guitar? I don't know. Yeah. Also, speaking of guitars, the guitars hanging on the wall were handmade by Manuel. He's a third-generation luthier. His workshop is next door. Come back in the day, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and for all your guitar needs and purchases. All right. Now, please silence that cell phone. Thank you very much. And we have very special guests today. I'm going to bring them up, and we'll do some interview in the middle, and we'll have some more music. That's kind of our night and our outline. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Amy Speace. Woo! And Megan Palmer. Woo!
Some familiar faces came out in the cold. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Manuel, for having us. And I hope there's Thin Mints somewhere in my future. Or what is it, Samoas? I want to just mention that when I was 9, I won the most sold in the county of Girl Scout cookies. Because this man named Ted Weinhauser, I'll never forget this, bought like 100 boxes of cookies from me. I found out when I was 12 that was my dad. He rigged the game, but I still won. Heading on down the trail, Tonight the room is quiet. The lights are low like a wish. Everyone's come who is coming. Got everything crossed off my list. Daughter, my heart is steady. Daughter, I've gotta go. Daughter, my heart is ready for that trail to take me home. Driving with the top down, baby blue Pontiac, 10 feet off the ground, my brother and me in the back. Thank you. Can't be out of tune in a luthier shop. Not fair. To grow wild behind the white picket fence that seemed to go on for a mile. There used to be horses here on the way up Yellow Springs Road, beautiful amber maidens with the sun gleaming off of their coats, and I wanted to see them that day in October, up the hill to the sky. I wanted to see them in perfect formation one more time, one more time. There used to be horses here. My father knew the owner from church. They've torn down the old brick house. Now there's just a big hole in the earth. And I wanted to see them that day in October, running fast up the hill to the sky. I wanted to see them in perfect formation one more time, one more time. When Dad had his house in the trees, wherever they took them. Well, I hope it's a place they run free. And I wanted to see them that day in October, running fast up the hill to the sky. I wanted to see them in perfect formation one more time. Oh, I came back to see him so I could remember the faded blue of his eyes. Wanted to see him fly off to forever one more time, one more time. I'm just crying from how emotional I get when my throat closes up. At least it didn't happen mid-song. That's happened. I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to talk for a bit to bring it back. Those are 2 songs from my latest record. Actually, that's not true. I have 2 latest records. I was bored during the pandemic, so I wrote a lot and made 2 records and put them out and didn't tour them. So it was a real smart business decision. The first one came out in April 2021, and it's called There Used to Be Horses Here. And the songs were written between my son's first birthday and my father's death, which sounds like a depressing record, but I swear it's a super happy, fun gospel record for summer drives in the country. And that first song, just to contextualize it, Down the Trail. My father died in October 2019. And I had the great fortune of being able to be with him through the end of his life and hold his hand and get stories from him. He used to tell me all the stories that he'd remember from childhood. And because I was the writer in the family. And he was like, you better write an album about me. Which I did. But he was telling me the story of how 10 years prior, when my uncle, his identical twin, had passed away of a heart attack. And all the doctors said he was going to make it, and that everything was going to be fine and his heart would be repaired. My father went home one night and had a dream. And my father is not a woo-woo guy at all. He went home and had a dream that my uncle and my grandmother, long gone, were walking on a trail in front of him down the woods, and my father was following them, calling out to them. And my uncle turned to my dad and said, "No, Dan, it's not your time to go down the trail." So the night before my father passed, I was with him, and I sat with him the whole night. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, he sat up suddenly and said, I've, and I went to his bed. I said, "What, Dad? What, Dad?" He said, "I've got to go down the trail." And those were his last words. So I wrote him a song and a record, and I'm sure he's got critiques of the record, I'm sure, up in heaven. Okay, I'm going to do one that's not too vocally challenging. that this is being webcast and I'm crying and choking on Nashville winter. You guys are going to be kind. It's the people out there. They're going to be like, who is she? It's, you know what it is? I was thinking about those Girl Scout cookies and my mouth watered. I have to wait. I think it's gone now. I think I talked it out of my throat.
What song are we playing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Here, I'll start playing it and then you'll know. I'm not sure. I'll just start playing a song and it'll be guess what song.
Oh, cool.
It'll be like
Love
the
that
roulette
game.
wheel of Amy's catalog. That's the beauty of Megan Palmer. She'll just start playing something beautiful. Said the sea to the shore when the evening tide came in. I am here to tell you tales of where I've been. Into shells I whispered my love songs in secret rhyme. Left them at your door for you to find. Tempered the force of my waves when your gods would roar. Took care of the ships full of men that you sent off to war. And I've longed for you for so long, said the sea to the shore. Said the shore to the sea, you left me here too long. I was promised to the moon while you were gone. He waited until the brightest night to demand my hand under his fullest light, and promised he'd always stay and watch over me. Oh, why did you wait till now, said the shore to the sea. Said the sea to the shore, I swore that I'd return. Yes, and here I am with all that I have learned. I can hold you now with arms of foam and spray, touching you at the coming of dusk and the breaking day, smoothing out the folds on every stone. Said the sea to the shore, don't leave me here alone. Said the shore to the sea, you said all these things before. And I tell you, I can't hear you anymore. Oh, there was a time once I'd given in. I'd hear your savage white caps rolling in. Your troughs would come up slow beneath my chin, and your mist would kiss me softly on my skin, leaving salty trails where you had been, and my legs would give out in your undertow. Oh, but see, there was a long, long time ago. So the sea took one last look and turned away, and the shore was more than strong enough to stay. The castles melted back onto the sand. Driftwood drifted up onto the land. Rocks rose up proud and shiny skin, and shells began their gossiping again. Thank you. Thank you so much. That song is called The Sea and the Shore. And this spring will mark the 10th anniversary of that record coming out. The record was called How to Sleep in a Stormy Boat. It was kind of a record that changed my career for me. It was the first time NPR did anything with me, and I was able to be on All Things Considered, which was a thrill because on my way up to the interview studio, which is this big, huge, beautiful space in D.C., I shared the elevator with Robert Redford.
Ooh, that's cool.
He is as pretty as you would think. But the record is all songs that were written in response to different Shakespeare monologues or different sonnets in Shakespeare. I mean, if you don't like Shakespeare at all, it's just love songs. I started my career as an artist after college. I went to New York City and I studied acting at the National Shakespeare Conservatory for 2 years, and then went on the road with the National Shakespeare Company, and I was able to do a lot of really cool things that paid nothing. And the height of I've told this story before, but the height of my career truly was, I was in a company down on the Lower East Side, an off-Broadway company. I've told you guys this story. And I was playing Juliet in a production that was called, well, you've heard of the series in New York City that's really famous called Shakespeare in the Park, right? Yeah, this was Shakespeare in the Parking Lot. It's really famous called Shakespeare in the Park, right? Yeah, this was Shakespeare in the Parking Lot. No joke. And so in Shakespeare in the Parking Lot, I played Juliet in Romeo and Juliet. And the New York Times was there to review the show, and it was amazing. And I was at the end of my monologue where I'm about to kill myself, and I'm on my knees in this municipal parking lot in the Lower East Side that smells like garbage trucks and beer. And a drag queen on rollerblades sped through the scene, stopped at my feet, and went, you go, girl. That's about the time that I picked up the guitar and said, maybe I'll be a folk singer. That'll be a way to pay off my college loans. But that song, The Sea and the Shore, on that record was a duet with a great artist named John Fulbright. And I'm thinking of, and that I've started to release vinyl since then, and I didn't release that on vinyl. So in March, March 2023, we're going to re-release that record with a duet with my co-writer on that named Robbie Hecht. So the vinyl will be coming in March, so look for that. I did put another record out in the pandemic. This is the most recent one. It's called Tucson. This is a song from it. The record came out in April. The songs were all written in a 2-week period. This is a retelling of the Little Red Riding Hood story. Little red, run, run away. There's a wolf around back, and he's heading your way. Little red, don't look into his eyes. He'll woo you with a lullaby under a disguise. Oh, little girl, throwing sticks and stones. You're raging at the world, but you're breaking your own bones. Little red, still sucking sucking on your thumb till it shakes and it bleeds and the skin goes numb. Little red, I can see your back's against the wall. You keep flailing your fists in the middle of it all. Oh, little girl, throwing sticks and stone. You're raging at the world, but you're breaking your own bone. You've been fighting that dog now for too many years. Little red, don't you know you're lost in the dark? All that screaming at ghosts and punching at the stars. Oh, little girl, with your ancient wounds, the wolf's at the door. He's howling at the moon. Oh, little red, throwing sticks and stone at the mean old world. Don't you know you're not alone? Thank you. I was trying to make, like when my voice broke in that song, I was trying to make the next half of it break so that you would just think that was like jazz. So I hope you got that. I figured the wolf can't howl in tune, really, so why not have me howl out of tune for 5 seconds? It was I know, I was feeling it, right, Mark? I was feeling it. Did you feel it? It was like from the depths of my gut. I had no way to hold on to that note, and then I just let it fly. Bad note. That's like bebop jazz. You have no idea where they're going, but they're going somewhere, and they think in jazz you say like you're always one note away from right. So if you make a mistake, you just go one note away. So that's what that was, one note. That'll be the next record. One note away from right. I don't know. That's a song. You want to write that song?
Yeah. Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, we can work on that.
Yeah. Megan's nonplussed by my title. Nonplussed. Well, we've got one more song in this set. Man, this is so much fun. I really appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with this thing that's going on in my throat. But, you know, whatever. It's like 75 degrees out in the daytime and 20 at night. So... Thanks for coming out. This is my favorite show so far that I've ever done because it's literally like 1.5 miles from my house. So I really was thinking, can I wear pajamas? Would that be appropriate if I just rolled? That's how I rolled. We're gonna do this song and then take a little interview break, which will be super fun. I hope I'm prepared or unprepared enough that I'm smart. So one of the songs on the There Used to Be Horses album, which I co-produced this record with my 3 friends, a band called the Orphan Brigade, which consists of Nielsen Hubbard, who's my longtime producer and great songwriter in town, Josh Britt from the Farewell Drifters, who's also a fantastic songwriter, and Ben Glover, who lives part-time here and part-time in Northern Ireland, where he's from, fantastic songwriter. And together, they're great friends. They make up the Orphan Brigade. I'm a huge fan of their music, so I wanted them to kind of make symphony out of my music. So we got together and did this record. And we wrote a lot of songs together. And we got together to write this song, and all I had was the title. I had this title, Hallelujah Train. I thought of like a big steam train taking away the casket. And I thought, there's no way that this is not already like a bluegrass gospel song, but it wasn't. So we wrote it. The only problem is a song called Hallelujah Train needs a whole lot of biblical references. And I grew up Catholic, so I've never read the Bible. Because Catholics, for the most part, I don't know anybody here who's Catholic, but please don't be offended. Catholics don't read the Bible. We just have it read to us in church while we're sleeping. You got that, yeah. But Josh Britt is from Kentucky, and he grew up with like snake-handling Pentecostal family, so any kind of biblical reference in here is written by Josh Britt from Kentucky. So I love that you knew exactly where I was going with that joke, Manuel. Steel on steel, chug a chug a wheel, steam rising high, high above the hill. Hear the trumpet blow. Everyone aboard, roaring like a lion, calling out my soul. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Gonna ride that hallelujah train. Heading up on yonder, came through Galilee, bound through New Jerusalem, gonna meet my King. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Google lyrics to Hallelujah Train. We'll just keep the groove going. It's like about a snake. It's something about a snake. Third verse. Just tell me. Come on, Mark, you got it. Lyric. This is super fun. Let's see how famous Amy Speace is. For those of you watching at home, I'm a professional. This is how we roll. Seals are breaking open. Fire coming down. Fire coming down. Smoking prayer to heaven. In an angel's sound. Ooh. Megan Palmer on fiddle. Let's do interview time. Don't take my chocolate. That's for you. I know. It's my thing. And you know what? There is a really great video on YouTube of that song with Nielsen Hubbard directing and the Orphan Brigade on there. The problem is you can't watch that and get my lyrics. But thank you to all of you who did add to my YouTube viewing experience during that song. And thank you. It was Ava who got that for me, right?
That was fun.
Somebody got that lyric for me. Oh, no. Yeah. Seals are breaking.
But I got lucky. So I got lucky.
I'll just stay here.
Here, you're going to talk into the microphone.
Okay, let me put my guitar down.
Yeah. We're going to get comfortable.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Julie, be careful with me.
I will.
Gentle,
I do.
gentle.
It's light and fun. Okay, so if you haven't been to Music Maker Stage before, we do a little interview in the middle so you can really get to know the artist. And she's already done a really good job of giving us some, insider information. So we'll try not to repeat. But so I usually start with, how did you get to Nashville? The typical question. But Amy's a writer, obviously, creative writer. Do you have a grad a degree in creative writing.
I'm in the
right?
process of it. I'm
okay.
3/4 of the way through an MFA program in creative writing.
That's awesome. A poet, a singer-songwriter. I mean, all things lyrical and literary. So I know your background from New York. You've talked about New York a little bit, but kind of bring us up to date. Like, how did you actually get to Nashville?
In a white minivan with a hound dog. I was, I'd been talking about it for years. I was living in New York City, which, was super expensive. And I was kind of living in that place where in my mind I was still emerging and I was still in the poverty level because I was spending like God knows how much money on a stupid small apartment and playing and touring. And I had been signed by the artist Judy Collins to her record label and taken on the road with her. And I was still stretching my budget to make it work. And so in the back of my head, I was still like, at some point I might go back to school and go to law school or something a little bit more smart than being a folk singer. And I was on a label based out of New York City in management with New York City, and I ended up at an international conference in Cannes, France, and got heard by somebody here in Nashville. And I had been coming down from time to time to write. My main collaborator at that point was a writer named John Vesner. And he and his wife, Kathy Mattea, were encouraging me to move to Nashville over and over and over again. And I didn't have that many friends down here and wasn't sure how to make it happen. And I met this manager who also owned a record label in France. And he kind of came to New York City to see me play and said, I think you should get to Nashville right away. And I flew down the next weekend, and he introduced me to a lot of publishers and a lot of club owners, and I played the Mercy Lounge with some really amazing players and found out about the Americana Music Association and got to know them. And I just sort of felt fully embraced in a way that New York City was, at that point, I had worked my way into the scene at New York, but it took a long time because you're banging your head against the walls hoping that somebody says yes, whereas in Nashville it just felt like the doors flew wide open and people said yes. Plus I could rent a 2-bedroom, 1-bath for $700 and feel like I was making a middle-class living, so it was easy. And then really within a year I made so many new friends that I knew this was home.
That's awesome. So New York to France to Nashville. Mm-hmm. Okay, I haven't heard that one before. That's awesome. And did you get to sing Send in the Clowns?
I
have to ask because I'm a fan.
Only
I'm a fan
once,
of you and Judy.
Well, I will say this. I sang Send in the Clowns backstage while watching her sing Send in the Clowns, but she did invite me up on stage with her every night to sing Amazing Grace.
Ooh, oh, yeah.
Which was, one of those moments of, she's one of my top 5 favorite voices. So.
Yes, awesome. So to Nashville, you're an East Nashville icon now. Tell us about your song salon. Right? Did I get it right? Always correct me if I'm wrong because I try to do my research. But and it's not currently happening, but you've had it for a long time.
I did. When I moved here in October 2009, and like I said, I knew a lot of writers, but I didn't have a lot of close friendships. And in New York City, I used to go to this songwriters exchange, which was every Monday night at this guy's apartment, and people would bring new songs, and you'd pass the guitar around, and people would give feedback. So it was like a workshop that was happening. And I found out that there wasn't anything like that in Nashville that I knew of. It was a lot of pickin' parties where people would just like pass the guitar around and play songs, but not a lot of sort of critical feedback, gentle, kind critical feedback amidst writers. And so I knew I remember Julie, I knew you, and I knew a few people. And so I put the word out, and I made a big pile of pasta and just said, show up with some wine and a new song. And that was, early, like January 2010. And I met my best friends in the world who showed up as strangers in my house with a new song. One of them's back there. And when I was on the road a lot of times, I would have to give over the salon to somebody else to host. And so over the years, there's been many different hosts that have done it. And then over COVID, they kept it going online. And I think we're in the process of talking about how to bring it back in a way that makes sense for everybody. But I'm really proud. I wrote 3 records with my song salon, and I know other people. And it would be some nights you'd show up there, and there'd be somebody who had never written a song sitting next to a Grammy Award winner. So it's really one of the things one of the things I'm most proud of. I feel like I helped create a community. It wasn't just me. There were lots of other people involved. But it was, when it was thriving, it was my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. I heard about it. Always knew about it. Didn't know what was happening. But also, as far as writing goes, you have a blog, right?
Yeah.
It's called Menopausal Mommy.
Yes.
And we're kindred spirits, because
Yes.
I said, when she got here tonight, I was like, I feel like I know you. I was reading your blog. So anyways, and tell us about the blog, and tell us something as exciting is going to happen with it too, right?
Yeah. I had my baby. My kid's name is Huckleberry, and I had him when I was 50. And so I was 49 and I was pregnant, and I had insomnia, and I was staying up late at night, like searching for other women my age who were having a baby to just have community or to find out their experience. And when you put in geriatric pregnancy, it says 35 years old. But the 35-year-old body is very different than the 49-year-old body. And I couldn't find anybody. There was no information on women my age. I mean, I knew that Janet Jackson had gone through it and a couple other famous people, but it's not like you can call them and say, what was your experience like? Are you eating Krispy Kreme donuts every single day, and is that healthy? So I started a blog about my journey that kept going, and it's still going. And it ended up that I did a workshop with an amazing, I call her a book whisperer, and she had read my blog, and she invited me into a workshop of hers and encouraged me to turn the blog into a book. And so it is a finished memoir. It's 50 chapters, so it's Menopausal Mommy, 50 chapters in 50 years. And so I'm kind of sending it around, hoping that somebody picks it up and sends it out to the world. It's a big deal, mommy memoirs these days, but there's not many mommy memoirs from somebody who had a baby and the next year her hormones kicked her into menopause, which is really fun. It's a real fun emotional soup.
I'd say they retired.
Yeah.
And then I need to retire next. Okay. So anyways, and also, well, about music, switching to music, you have so many albums and you have so many super great, I was reading all the reviews, and every review was awesome about every album. And just kind of, so people don't know, tell us maybe about one of the projects and what, I know this is not an answerable question, but what was your favorite project, I guess, to work on, of your own?
There used to be horses here. We recorded that record in 4 days. I had all the songs. I was talking to Nielsen about making the record. And I was driving down the road listening to the Orphan Brigade's latest record that they had written in a converted church in Northern Ireland. They had written it there in a week and had recorded all the songs in that church. And it had a very Van Morrison vibe to it. At the same time, I knew I wanted to do a record and orchestrate it. And so immediately when I was driving down the road, I called Nielsen and I said, I know exactly how this record needs to be. It needs to be the Orphan Brigade orchestrated. And luckily my keyboard player, he also plays a variety of horn instruments, is an orchestrator. So basically, as we started this record, I knew I wanted to do it quickly and live, so we were all in the same room. They basically learned the song right before we recorded it so that we could just sort of catch what it's like to fall into a song and possibly fall off be in that space of falling off and staying on and following each other. And then we recorded that, and a week later we gave it to Danny, who put together strings. And just the experience of hearing my songs with a string quartet live was one of those, it's, a dream. And so that's the record I think I'm most proud of, and it's the record I enjoy myself listening to the most.
You mentioned your son, Huckleberry, and just this is one of my last questions I have to ask because I'm a mommy too. What are I know your story a little bit, and it's totally amazing when you have a child, so, much later in life can relate. But what's your kind of goal for him? I know you talked about music and you want to get him to start playing instruments, and what do you do would you do an album for him, or do you do a children's album? What would you like to do?
I'm never doing a children's album. I grew up with I had a really loving family. My father was very competitive and got me into tennis right away, and got into piano lessons when I was 3, and very structured. There was a very structured academic environment around me without many artists who really got me. So my parents used to call me like the artistic temperament, which just meant I had a lot of temper tantrums. And so there was nobody in my family, I thought, that kind of got me. As loving as the family was, I felt always like the strange, the odd bird out. So the only goal I have with my son is to watch who he becomes, and whether it's something that I understand or not, to find my way to him at his level. Because I feel like if I had people who really got that all I wanted to do is sit by myself and paint or write or sing, that would be a fine use of my time, rather than I need to get a really good serve in tennis and be the best tennis player.
That's good. That's a good goal. Yeah. We'll talk later about Eric Carle.
Yeah.
You know Eric Carle?
Huge fan of Eric Carle.
Huge fan. He's the children's book. When you said that, it reminded me, because I learned about him a little bit. Like, his mother would no, leave him alone. He's painting.
Mm-hmm.
When
the Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah.
And Brown Bear.
Big child's book.
I actually would do a children's album if I could do all Eric Carle's. He died last year, so I would love to do songs inspired by Eric Carle. Actually, that would be fun. It would be an adult record, but it would be inspired by the work of Eric Carle, because he's he's a collage artist and really inspired by his work.
That's awesome. Good idea. Okay, quick game. Ready?
Go.
This is this or that. Musical this or that. Are you ready?
Yep.
Springsteen or Sinatra? You have to do your first response. No cheating.
Springsteen.
Good, and you can only pick one. Fitzgerald or Streisand?
Fitzgerald.
U2 or the Rolling Stones?
U2.
Slow dance or swing dance?
Swing dance.
Strings or brass?
Strings.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee. Tea is weak.
I couldn't think of another music one. I'll write some more, don't worry. Okay, and then big question. If you could record a duet with anyone, who would it be? And we know you've already done Judy, but who would it be that you haven't sung with? Dead or alive?
I was thinking of all the obvious ones because I knew that you were going to ask me this, and the obvious ones are like, Emmylou or Patty Griffin or John Prine. So I was trying to go off the obvious ones to my favorite singer of all time, who you may or may not know, which is Dinah Washington. I would love to have sung a duet with Dinah Washington. She's one of my favorite voices of all time.
That's a good one. Okay, we need to hear more music.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, good job. Welcome her back, everybody.
That wasn't that painful. All right. I'm going to do a song without Megan because it's new and she doesn't know it. No, I've got some here, but thank you. I need a pick at this point. I don't know what I do with my pick. Megan, do you have a pick? I threw it down, or I put it up here. This is what happens to me. I lose things. The pick gremlin. Let's see. I got all nervous about the questions. It's funny, I've been listening. I always get, when I first started out and I was in New York, I did all the rounds of the major labels. So I would take my demo around and I'd play for Atlantic and Epic and Elektra. And they all told me that they liked my songs, but with my voice I would never have a career in the music industry because I sound too much like Judy Collins. So it was, one of those moments when Judy Collins found me, it was like, oh, well, okay. Perfect. But I've been listening to I have a extensive vinyl collection of singers like from that era, from the Dinah Washington era. I'm a huge jazz vocal fan. But I've been listening nonstop to the Johnny Mathis Christmas album, which is one of my favorite. I love Johnny Mathis so much. Do you know that man has a vibrato like Joan Baez? Go back and listen to that era. They all have these big, wide vibratos. So I feel like going back to those people and say, did Johnny Mathis not have a big career? Because Johnny Mathis had a big career. Wonderful, wonderful. What? Sammy Davis. I've gone. I'm going to play a new song for you. This is, I'm starting to think about the possibility of working on a new record. I have a lot of songs and I'm culling through them, and this is the one I know will be on the record. I wanted to write a country song, like a country hit kind of pop song, because I don't write those kind of songs, so I kind of gave myself the job of writing a new country pop song, but I'm in my 50s, and so I don't relate to much country radio, so I thought I'd write a country hit pop song for people in their 50s and above. It's called 1976. The circle off Old Shady View, kicked the can till the sun went down from May to August every afternoon. Juliet lived in the house on the corner where we went every day 'cause she had a pool. Cheryl's dad played for the Vikings. She could run faster than the boys at school. 1976 we rode our bikes like a speed machine. Duck your head, lean into the wind, and hold on tight to the American dream. July 4th, before the second grade, a joker in the spokes and huffy handlebars. Bicentennial parade, Yankee Doodle Dandy and sparklers in the yard. Your daddy said Carter was a weakling, a Democratic farmer could never beat Ford. Mine said we were heading for disaster, lost his faith in the Vietnam War. Well, 1976 we rode our bikes like a speed machine. Duck your head, lean into the wind, and hold on tight to the American dream. Mom's good, Dad died last fall, lost his fight after only 12 weeks. What makes you strong, makes you feel old now, ain't that the truth you learned through the years? Well, 1976 we rode our bikes like a speed machine. Duck your head, lean into the wind, and hold on tight to the American. Hold on tight to the American. Hold on tight to the American dream. Thank you. I mean, come on, it's got all the stuff, right? It's got the American dream. It's got my proudest moment in lyric writing, I have to say this. When I came upon your daddy said Carter was a weakling, a Democratic farmer could never beat Ford, I was like, I'm done. And the people that really get that will nod at me, and I know that I will be around my people.
Should I say yes?
You want to just play it?
Yeah.
Let's see if you remember it. This will be beautiful because she doesn't know what I'm about to do. under the pines of West Virginia, near black waterfalls. On a rainy morning, the photograph shows us all. That weekend in the summer of 1972, Mom's behind the camera, I was standing next to you on Father's Day. On Father's Day. You built a small log cabin west of Baltimore, in the woods where you'd been a forester before we were born. You drive us there on Fridays after working late all week. Make up games to teach us names of trees down by the creek. Father's Day. They tell us you are fading. You say, look, 5 fingers or a palm. Daughter, it's the leaves that tell. Red maple elm from Vagabond. Keep talking to the trees, Dad. Your favorite one, the beach, Dad. As you fade away from me, Dad. I wish I could go back there. In my dreams I go there still. When Mom snapped that picture as we stood on the hill, and I stared at the camera like I was trying to freeze the frame. Held tight to your hand to make you stay for another Father's Day. Wow. I should just play songs you don't know all the time. See where we go with that. We've got 2 more songs for you. Again, thank you guys so much for coming out. Thanks, Julie, and thanks, Miguel, for having us to your beautiful shop. This is my new favorite place to play in Nashville. It's gorgeous. The sound is gorgeous. The vibe is gorgeous. Appreciate you guys coming. This is a song from the newest record, Tucson. I wrote this song for a friend of mine, but Sometimes you write songs for your future self and you don't even know it. So there's also an audience participation moment in this if you're feeling very kumbaya. I know there's singers in the audience. So. If you fall, I'll kneel beside you so I can guide you from where you are. I know it's hard. You need a softness, a little kindness, a tender heart. I know the hurt that you're hiding behind the walls you built with brick and sand. So let them fall. Those tears will heal you, and I can catch you where you land. If you're lost, I can guide you from what I know, from where I've been. 'Cause I've been lost inside a blindness. Somehow I found my way back again. I know the hurt that you're holding behind the mask that you can't even see. So follow me, I can show you where the road goes that sets you free. This is the part. Don't you know there's nothing you can tell me that would turn my love for you to stone? So if you fall, I'll be beside you to remind you you're not alone. Oh, if you fall, I'll kneel beside you to remind you you don't fall alone.
Had to think about that for a second. That song is in my head. Okay.
It's the same key.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm having I'm like, what's the melody again?
Don't need a golden box for my bowls. Don't need you weeping and wailing. Don't need my name carved into stone. Just sing me a hymn for the crossing. Don't speak of nights darkened by regret. Don't speak of today's light fading. Don't speak at all. Just sit here by my bed and sing me a hymn for the crossing. The many miles we have roamed, each one a mark upon our bones. But in the end we leave alone. Until then, just sing me home. Don't fight the tears, the sorrow of the sea. Don't be afraid when it's raging. Don't fight the waves, let them rock you off to sleep while you sing me a hymn for the cross. Although I'd love to stay, can't keep the old man waiting. When he calls for you, I'll be at the gates to sing you a hymn for the crossing. I'll sing you a hymn for the cross. May you know goodness. May you know peace. May you know contentment. May you be at ease. May the road before you go soft under your feet. But more than all, may this be true. May you know kindness, and may kindness know you. May you be without anger. May you be without hate. May you be without jealousy. May you be without shame. If the world gets lost in sadness, may you find a prayer of hope. But more than all, may this be true. May you be with loved ones who hear and see what you feel, and may those you trust be honest and real. And may your feet follow where your heart dares to go. But more than all, may this be true. May you know kindness, and may kindness know you. More than all, may this be true. May you know kindness, and may kindness know you. Thank you all so much.
Amy Speace. Woo! Thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. Tell your friends, go on our socials. Thank you to the Delgado clan for doing the sound and the live stream. Woo! Yes, and come back, tell your friends. We have cool shows coming up in the next couple months, and sign up for the newsletter, and that's how you know it. Okay, drive safe. Woo! Oh, some of Amy's music tonight. On your way out, Christmas money. Okay.